Sharks, swords, yogurt, kicks, fries, smartphones, hot tubs, yeah.
Pickle and Peanut. You probably heard of the show, or have seen the show, or have seen someone else talk about it. And if you've seen the show, you probably hate it or like it. And if you've seen someone else talk about it, you've probably seen a negative review. I've tried to look for one positive review on this show, but nothing. So today, I'm gonna change that. Today, I'm going to defend Pickle and Peanut. Before I look into the show, I wanted to see why the show gets so much hate, so I made a tweet and got 3 replies. 1 unfunny joke and 2 actual reasons for Miles and Squill. Let's see what the person with the wrong opinion has to say. It's trying to be hip and cool while having this really ugly art style on top of it. And that's fair, but you're Miles 834, so automatically you're wrong. But for real, I feel like when they try to be hip and cool, it's not funny, but I'm pretty sure that's the joke. And the part about the art styles, I get that some people have different tastes in art styles, but personally, I don't mind it. The art style is good, but still funny. Not in as, oh, this is so bad it's funny, but just funny. Squill said that the show tries way too hard to be wacky and random, that it just ends up feeling forced. I like absurd humor, but there's a fine line between absurd and just plain stupid. And that's fair, but what I love about the show is the humor. I feel like the wackiness is what makes the show entertaining for me. The characters are good, but without the absurd humor, I feel like I wouldn't have liked Pickle and Peanut as much. I also watched some rant videos, and the first one I watched was Mr. Enter's video. His first claim is that this is Disney's attempt on trying to make breadwinners, and he's not entirely wrong, but the show is its own thing. Next, he talks about how Disney used to put so much effort into their theme songs, and Pickle and Peanut's theme song is, kinda stupid, but to be fair, I don't know what theme song Ender was expecting off a show called Pickle and Peanut. The theme song is really catchy. Sure, it's stupid, but it's a good kind of stupid. The theme song explains how the show is gonna be. The theme is just a stupid, fun bop, which is basically the show. Stupid, fun, and also funny. Enter says it sounds like a shopping list, and it sounds like a shopping list joke that people still say to this day.
It just sounds like a shopping list. It just sounds like
honestly sounds
you,
more like a
you just go around to your
shopping
cupboards
list than
and your fridge
national
and wrote a
shopping
list.
cartoon.
It's just basically Lord Jones.
sorry,
It's
but
basically
And it's kind of ironic because they actually work at a shopping store. I could continue with Enter's video, but I'll just say he didn't like the episode, and a bunch of other people didn't like the episode. I'll give them this though. The first episode's pretty good, but it's a pretty weak episode. The plot starts way too late into the episode, and by that point, I wasn't interested. The first time I watched it, I didn't really like it. It was pretty good, but I just thought it was some dumb cartoon, and I would just leave it alone and never watch it again. But thank God I didn't, because I wouldn't miss out on a pretty good show. Another thing I see people say is that this is a regular show ripoff, and it's not. I hate this claim so much. Oh, it's a duo, so it must be a regular show ripoff. And I think people need to know, just because you popularized something doesn't mean you created it or owned it. Sure, a regular show may have popularized the duo thing, but that doesn't mean they created it and they don't own it, and no one does. And these shows are 2 completely different things. They have different styles of humor, art style. The backgrounds are kind of similar, but other than that, I don't get the whole regular show ripoff thing. And this doesn't happen to Pickle and Peanut. This happens to other shows. They're called regular show ripoffs when they really aren't. For instance, Sanjay and Craig. You're gonna hate me for this, but I don't really care. I like Sanjay and Craig. I think the show is overhated, and the fact it's called a ripoff is just stupid. Why is it called a ripoff? Because 2 French and zany plotlines and strange events? Oh, it must be a regular show ripoff. It's not like that's been a thing before a regular show or anything. When people bring up the whole regular show ripoff thing, they talk about how they say catchphrases, and regular show has catchphrases. Well, one catchphrase. And if they are copying regular show, is that a bad thing? They just took one aspect of regular show and changed it into its own little thing, That doesn't mean they're copying regular show. And I hate this mentality that just because it has 2 best friends doing strange things, it's a regular show ripoff. But with all that out of the way, I'm gonna give you some episode analysis to give you a taste of what the show is about. Not gonna lie, the first episode was not the best. The plot didn't start until like halfway into the episode, and I feel like people don't like this episode mainly because of the weird plot. Pickle has a pimple, on his ass. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But this episode is still pretty funny. The episode in the beginning already starts off with a different live action puppet style that I dig. Some people don't like it because it's weird or whatever, but I find it funny. The episode introduces some characters as a first episode should. They introduce some horse guy and some other characters that we'll see later on in the show. The episode ends with a cliche ending with the whole monster is good but the other person doesn't know. It's not a bad thing, just wanted to point that out. Episode 2 is a big improvement from episode 1. I really like how the episode starts out with a real recorded video of someone taking a shopping cart and killing it. I just think the intro is super funny. I know it's stupid, but I can't help but laugh at it. The episode is about Pickle and Peanut staking out for someone who's been taking the shopping carts. The person who's been taking the shopping carts is Bloodbeard. In their stakeout, they plan to put a bunch of shopping carts to catch him in the act, but they get distracted and the carts get taken. Peanut has a plan which was pretty funny. Peanut makes a wonderful contraction, beautiful masterpiece, and Pickle decides to stay in to make sure everything is okay. The masterpiece that Pickle is in gets taken and Pickle is in... well, that. But it turns out Bloodbeard and just everyone else just plays around with the cards like Pickle and Peanut do. In order to get the cards back, they have to defeat Bloodbeard in a card showdown. They pull off a trick that they tried to do in the first episode and actually pull it off. And Bloodbeard ends up losing all the cards. But they get Bloodbeard and everyone else the job that they work at so they can play with the cards. And the episode ends on a high note. And with all I told you about the episodes, you'd think the show is pretty weird. And it is, but it's a good kind of weird. Now, let's talk about the characters. When people talk about Pickle and Peanut, they don't really go in too much depth about the characters, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's start off with the duo, Pickle and Peanut. Peanut is a dim-witted and happy-go-lucky Pickle. Often causing mischief, Pickle is the best friend of Peanut. Despite his adulthood, Pickle can be shy and sometimes a nerd, and cowardly, like real Pickles. Pickle is taller than Peanut. Pickle wears a belt that covers his belly button so nobody can see it. And that's it. Peanut is Pickle's best friend, a Peanut who wants to be cool and popular. Peanut is a free-willing, peanut-looking man. Besides his goal of popularity, he also tries to attract ladies. So basically, Pickle and Peanut are people who think they're cool but really aren't cool. There's a lot of weird but funny side characters. My favorite side character is Wayne. He's just so funny. He doesn't say anything, he just has this creepy stare that I love. Sneaky Patty is a woman who hides in Pickle's bushes, and I really liked her character. She was funny when she was on screen. Mr. Majard is the boss, and I really like his character. He doesn't really do anything all that much, but he's just really nice and super wholesome. Raga is a duck goose who sells some crazy products, and there's a lot of side characters and minor characters in the show, and if I listed them all, we would be here all day. But I like most of the characters. The other characters I just don't care about. The show ended in January of 2018, and it does suck the show ended. Disney tried to do something new, and people didn't like it. Even though people didn't like it, at least Disney tried to do something new. Pickle and Peanut is overhated. They say it's lazy, has lazy animation, is trying to be cool and hip, which is not wrong, well, the last part anyway. It does try to be hip and cool, but it doesn't on purpose. Well, I think it does. The show gives me a lot of Adult Swim vibes. The show has a lot of innuendos, and I feel like this would have been perfect on Adult Swim. Whatever you think about Pickle and Peanut, you can't say it was something new for the network. Sure, it may have its flaws, but it's still really good. It was fun rewatching the show again, and talking about it was fun. If you like this video, I plan to do more in defense videos in the future. But for now, this has been Team Crew for Life, and bye.